The Spanish discovery of the New World by Christopher Columbus led to the establishment of permanent European settlements. And by the early 16th century, Spain controlled the entire continental shore of the Caribbean Sea, including Cuba and Hispaniola. In 1518, the Spanish governor of Cuba, Diego Velázquez de Cuellar, commissioned Hernán Cortés to make contact with the natives in Mexico. But it became clear that Cortés was arming and provisioning for an expedition of conquest. Velázquez tried to replace Cortés, but his replacement was intercepted and killed. Cortés and a few hundred men set sail for Mexico in an act of open mutiny. Central Mexico at that time was dominated by the Aztec Empire, a confederation of city-states that had united and expanded over the past century. They were surrounded by various other states like the Tarascan, Tlaxcala, and Mixtec, while most of southern Mexico was controlled by the Maya. Cortés soon landed on the island of Cozumel, where he met with a white shipwreck survivor, a Franciscan priest, who served as his translator. They captured the capital of the small Mayan state, Potonchan, and were awarded with women, one of whom, La Melinche, who became Cortés's mistress and translator. Cortés then landed on the coast of Veracruz in April and created a new settlement. As an elected official of the new town council, he reported directly to the Spanish crown, which allowed him to avoid prosecution for defying Velázquez's orders. The Aztec Emperor Moctezuma II agreed to send representatives to meet with Cortés, but refused to meet with him personally. Cortés scuttled his own fleet to avoid his men escaping, formed an alliance with the local Totonac chief, and marched inland to the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan, in August. Although they met some resistance from the Otomi and Tlaxcalans, they decided to unite against their common enemy, the Aztecs. Together they continued on to the holy Aztec city of Cholula, which they took without any resistance. But Cortés got word of a plot to murder the Spanish in their sleep, so he killed over 3,000 people and burned the city to the ground. Fearing a similar fate, Moctezuma chose the path of diplomacy and invited the conquistadors to visit the capital. November 8, 1519, Cortés and his men arrived at Tenochtitlan, and according to Cortés, Moctezuma pledged his loyalty to the King of Spain. However, this is unlikely, because when Cortés planned to place an image of the Virgin Mary and a cross at the top of their main temple pyramid, Moctezuma responded by killing 7 Spaniards. Cortés quickly arrested Moctezuma, who did not resist because he feared an open rebellion in the city would allow the Spanish to install another prince as emperor. Meanwhile, Governor Velázquez sent Pánfilo de Narváez to Mexico with orders to capture Cortés for violating his orders. Cortés quickly defeated this force in April 1520. However, when he returned to Tenochtitlan, he found the city was in open rebellion after his men had massacred Aztec nobility in the Great Temple. He ordered Moctezuma to speak to his people, but they threw stones at him instead. Moctezuma either died from his injuries or was killed by the Spanish before they fled the city. They lost many men during their hurried retreat, but, despite being heavily outnumbered, were able to defeat the pursuing army led by the new emperor Cuitláhuac in July 1520 at Otumba. The Tlaxcala gave the surviving Spanish refuge, while a smallpox epidemic killed many Aztecs, including Cuitláhuac. So the Spanish regrouped, built boats, and with fresh reinforcements and tens of thousands of Tlaxcala allies, marched on the capital again. They arrived at the city in May 1521, blocked the causeways leading into the city, captured their water supplies at Chapultepec, and patrolled the shores to prevent supplies being ferried in. They broke into the city in August. The new emperor Cuauhtémoc was caught trying to escape, and the Aztecs surrendered. The city was destroyed, and the surviving Aztec people were cast out, forbidden to live in the ashes of their former city. On the site, Cortés began to build the foundations of what would become Mexico City. Neighboring states like the Tarascan submitted to Spanish rule. It would take the Spanish another 170 years to finally end the resistance in Mesoamerica and conquer the Maya in the Yucatan Peninsula. Disease would prove to be their strongest ally, with 3 separate epidemics that may have killed as much as 75% of the indigenous population. We'd like to thank Jabsy for hosting us on this episode. If you like quick and informative history, visit our channel at 1 Minute History.